Well, that thing.
That's a.
Well, that thing, we
No idea where my-
were having to tax that for 8 freaking years.
I hear where my daughter is these days. She's back in
Yeah.
general, still in Brooklyn.
Well, that thing.
I'm here.
Well, that thing, we were having to tax that for 8 freaking years.
I hear where my daughter is these days. She's back in
Yeah.
still in Brooklyn.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Years.
Somebody's not muted. That's online.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
You know what it is? It's the YouTube. When Liza was showing me, because it's now a new way, it's a couple seconds behind. So what we're hearing is the room, just a few seconds delay. If I mute it, now if I mute it, is it gonna mute for them listening?
Why don't you put your volume down all the way?
Mute it.
I just heard you say mute it. Put your volume down all the way. See if that works. Is that working?
Yeah.
I'm no techie. I just push buttons till something happens.
I'm usually okay. The pressure here makes you,
No pressure.
All right.
he is on. I just somehow
No,
lost.
I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
The wrong child way. All right. Are we ready to roll?
If you give me 30 seconds, I'm sorry,
Okay,
Mayor,
okay.
just to get this
Let me know.
picture up,
There we go.
Take your time. You got it.
Don't panic.
to get the,
What happens when you panic? He shuts down.
Bradford.
Looks to me like. I look so.
oh, here it is. Sorry. This is what I was looking for.
Yeah. And the same for evening, and so, and those that don't make it inside, second chance will go up like.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm all the way up, like a high chair.
Okay. I may at points just have to come back to that. Sorry. So if the view changes,
The right thing.
Planning board.
we just have to come back to the, sorry. What if I mute it? That's what I'm gonna.
Nope, see, don't tell.
You're muted?
When I treat it, I get.
No, you know what it is? Directly to YouTube. So what's happening is the YouTube is here and we hear it and it's on a few second delay. That's the way it is. Liza had said that to me, but I'm wondering, can I mute it without, but can they still hear?
Yeah, I don't know. That's my pay grade.
See, Bill? Why do you even?
Do we have a text for anyone who's online where we could ask them?
I can.
It's overdose. So, this presentation is so interesting, because I didn't realize it. This will let you.
What do you say?
That's so. I figure I'll do that every time.
Yeah, it was better then, probably back then, it's Bonnie's now sort of taking the reins.
Or Thursday, this later this week.
Okay.
And
Is Thursday?
Wednesday's the 8th, Thursday's the 9th.
Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna test this out. You can start if you would like, but I went on, so I'm gonna test it out.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah. Wait to see what the beach is.
Yeah, you go.
Right.
We'll make it.
Ah, you're good. That's it. You're gonna get it open.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right, let's get started. I call the meeting to order at 6:33 PM. Angela, would you please read the Open Public Meetings Act, if you're ready?
I'm so sorry. It works.
Okay, good.
I'm sorry, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by forwarding a copy to the Courier News, Star Ledger, and posting on the Township website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting, all in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. This meeting will not substantially go past 9:30 PM.
Roll call, Madam Clerk?
Mr. Kudo,
Here.
Mr. Foster,
Here.
Mrs. Illis,
Here.
Mr. Machado,
Here.
Mr. Moran,
Here.
Mrs. Pogue,
Here.
Mayor Devine.
I'm here. Will you all please rise for the flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to
The flag of the United States of America. To the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
Okay. We have quite a few items for conference session. One that's not on the agenda that I want to ask Chief Ives to come and give a brief update on is the e-bike ordinance that you've been working on, I think with Councilwoman Pogue? Illis? No, Illis, okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a little update on what the police department's been doing and what we're planning to do. So a little reminder for the residents. To date, we've created an educational video that was shared with the school system and via our social media platforms at the end of the school year last year. The police department has started a new initiative this summer and it continues into the fall, where officers reward children wearing helmets, riding safely with coupons to Dunkin' Donuts and DeMayo's Pizza. That seems to been a real fun campaign for the children in town and our officers. And we've seen some positive feedback from that. Captain May has been working with the pedestrian task force, the pedestrian task force to come up with an ordinance on the main reason here. On October 15th at 6:30, we'll be holding an educational seminar in conjunction with the pedestrian task force presenting Avenues in Motion. At the conclusion of that event, the police department will ask for input from residents and recommendations that they would like to see on a new e-bike ordinance. Also, my colleagues with the Union County Police Chiefs Association will be meeting on Thursday to discuss this very topic and brainstorming possible safety campaigns. Recently, we know that Union County has banned all e-bikes in county parks, Snyder Park, Passaic River Park, the Watchung Reservation, and Sealy's Pond. This enforcement falls under the authority of the Union County Police Department. So it's just a reminder to residents. I encourage all residents and council to come over to the meeting on October 15th at 6:30. We expect a great presentation. We'll be able to take all your questions. And hopefully we can take some input so an ordinance that we all can come to an agreement on can be created.
Wonderful. Thank you for stopping by and updating us, Chief. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
6:30 here, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Go watch your Yankees now.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Ray, I'm going to ask you to come up next. I know that you have a wonderful presentation and I want to thank Councilman Kudo for bringing it to my attention and organizing, having you here this evening, so.
Good. Well, thank you very much. It's truly an honor to be here this evening. And again, thank you, Councilman Kudo, for orchestrating this and for the mayor for allowing me to be here. So,
Teamwork.
yeah. My name is Ray Franey. I'm a longtime resident of Berkeley Heights, and I'm with the Rotary Club of Mental Health Advocates. Quick explanation. We're a cause-based Rotary Club. Most traditional Rotary clubs are aligned with their community, and they do projects within their community to, enhance the quality of life within their community. We are a cause-based club. We meet virtually, but we do presentations all over the 9 counties we serve. So we're a little different.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Which is perfect for me. So the presentation tonight is, and thank you, Angela.
You know what? I'm sorry, Rick. Oh, sorry.
What's that?
It's not letting me open PowerPoint. She must not have, there must not be for some reason. Let me see if I can.
Do you go up top to the slide where it says slideshow? Click on slideshow. Right?
Not letting me with the software.
Close PowerPoint and see if you could do what Ray said.
Close the whole thing.
It closes.
Closes the app. I'm gonna see if I can,
Put in my email address.
I was thinking I may have it with the work
Yeah,
one. Do
I
we
don't
have it?
Ah.
We're working on it, right?
Hmm?
We're working on it.
In my day, they would have standby while we experience
Technical
technical difficulties.
With the different colors.
I just dated myself, yeah.
At,
And it's pattern.
at full disclosure, in December, I'll be in Rotary for 30 years. And for 30 years, I've had nothing but problem with technology. So this is not out of the norm.
Plug in, find that where.
Um,
Literally open.
I could use it to show it, but the problem is getting it here and getting it to the live stream. That's my problem.
Because you're logged in.
'Cause I'm logged into the system with the screens, and that's why I asked. I'm just thinking,
Looking for an email?
do you know your Microsoft?
Mhm.
Do you? If you do, maybe I'm gonna,
It's making you active.
I could actually,
Because we probably have never used PowerPoint on this computer.
We haven't used it in a live stream and YouTube.
Right, there you go.
Sign with another account, I don't know if that helps.
I'm gonna try my upstairs account and see if it works.
Hmm.
I might have to be Liza, huh? All right, any chance you can start with that PowerPoint presentation? You have something?
I'll reach out to AJ, maybe he can
Certainly, let's-
give me something if they're.
Can you email the PowerPoint to people that have like a device and we can look while he's speaking and then we can post
Yeah,
it?
if you want, I can go up and print it. Do you want copies?
I'm just thinking if.
Not as good, I know.
Yeah, we can look at it, but then we can post it later on for the public.
For your.
Oh, look at this. How's that? I'm hiding it. See if that works. No, but you know what? If I can work through, it's not big, but let's see if we can, I don't know.
Let's start, or it's not letting you start now?
Can't do anything. I
Doesn't sound like.
apologize.
That's okay.
Angela, if you want to email it to me, I'll run up and print it for you.
You know what
Can
I'm
you scroll down so you can see the slides on the left-hand
No, I
side?
tried.
You can't even scroll.
trying? It's locked it.
Okay. Well, at least that tells everybody what the program's about.
Let's do,
So-
I'll reach out to AJ. You keep going and I'll see if I can.
Very good. Okay, so this is a number of the presentations our club does. This particular one, I think we've done, it's probably around the 40 some odd time we've done this. With different Rotary clubs, senior citizen groups, women's clubs, whatnot. Anybody that will have us, because I think it's so important, people hear about it. So this is about Narcan education and training, and Narcan, which is really, that's a brand name for naloxone. Naloxone is the official chemical name, but Narcan is like Kleenex, right? They are the manufacturer everyone knows it by, so. So why are we doing this? Overdose deaths in New Jersey, and this comes right from the New Jersey Department of Health, decreased. There was 2,800 drug overdose deaths in 2023, which was down from almost 3,200 the year before.
Mhm.
So, and there's been a steady decline, and it's continued to decline. The numbers, if you go to the Attorney General's, New Jersey Attorney General's webpage, you can see the data, but New Jersey Cares will also give you, tables, it'll show you overdose, Narcan administrations, et cetera, by county, and it shows the year to date. But, so the public health experts said the New Jersey multi-pronged approach to combating the overdose epidemic is starting to bear fruit. They're doing a lot of things over the last several years. One of which obviously is the harm reduction centers that we're having throughout the state and the administration of Narcan. So while it's still a problem and there's still a lot of people losing their lives, it's made a difference. And that's why the philosophy now is if everybody had a kit at home and they had it in a safe place, because you never know, when something may happen. It may not be a family member. It could be anybody, anywhere. So That's the reason we were doing this. So what are opioids? They're drugs that come from or are similar to opium, right? There's the natural opium, opiates, and there's the synthetics. And there's many, many types. Some of the ones that we're most familiar with is heroin, morphine, fentanyl, Demerol, codeine, oxycodone, and oxycontin. Okay. A lot of misconceptions as far as what takes place with an overdose. A lot of people seem to think it's a cardiac event. It is not. Plain and simple, you stop breathing, right? The opiate gets into your system. It plugs up the receptors in your brain and your central nervous system, and you just stop breathing, right? It's a safe drug to use for first responders and for anybody, for the average citizen. And giving it intranasal is really a simple process, and that's the only that's what's in our kits. Right? It's a nasal spray. We save the injectables for the first responders and for the qualified professionals. So abuse of opioid drugs is still continuing despite public health efforts, right? Most immediate medical complication for these is respiratory depression, as we talked about. Opioid-induced respiratory depression can lead to brain injury or death, and naloxone is well recognized as a safe and effective opioid antagonist. Right. This I wish you could see, but on this slide there's 3 vials and a lethal dosage of heroin, fentanyl, and carfentanil, right? And heroin in this little vial is probably, maybe 10% of the vial. And that's a lethal dose of heroin. The fentanyl, however, right next to it, which is 25 to 50 times stronger than heroin, there's just probably, I would say, a dozen to 15 grains in the bottom. And carfentanil, which is, unfortunately, they're starting to see that start to crop up a little bit more. And for whatever reason, it seems like Philadelphia seems to be the point where most of these things initiate out of, there's like 2 grains in there, and there's 2 grains of carfentanil is enough to kill you. Carfentanil is an elephant tranquilizer. Right. Next slide is the lethal dosage of heroin, carfentanil. Oh, I'm sorry. The traffickers are quite clever. They're very devious. They are, but sophisticated in many ways too. They have taken great effort to get tableting presses to make it look like they will compress fentanyl into other pills. They're not opiates. I mean, Adderall or, ecstasy, Molly, which Adderall is oftentimes used for recreational purposes, but also used by a lot of students to study when it's midterms or cramming for their finals or whatnot. So if somebody hands them a bootleg pill and they say, here, this will keep you up all night, well, the DEA's got a program out there called One Pill Can Kill. If you don't know where that pill came from, don't take it. If you don't know that it came from a legitimate pharmacy or whatever, don't take it because you never know. So, and that's how oftentimes they bring it into the country, is compressed into these forms. So, very disturbing fact is, of all the opiates in the world, right, the United States consumes 80% of the world's opiate manufacturing, right? And yet we represent 4% of the population. Of the world's population, we represent 4%, but yet we're consuming 80% of the opiates that are out there. So the other thing, I'll skip over the xylazine. That's for another thing. But xylazine is a chemical that's also laced. It's also cut in with the heroin and the fentanyl. Xylazine, the reason they put it in there because for the person who's taken it for the effects, it prolongs the high and enhances the high. So they get a better high off it, it'll last longer, right? Problem with xylazine is that it affects the white blood cells. If you have a sore or a puncture, it will ulcerate. To the point where there's some very graphic photos out there where people who are habitual users, where it's ulcerated right down to the bone. So, xylazine, however, is not an opiate. Narcan will not work on it, but you don't see xylazine by itself. It's usually with an opiate. So the Narcan will work on that. Right. So an overdose occurs when too much of the opiate fills in too many of the receptors we talked about before, and it slows and then it stops the breathing, right? Overdose affects the respiratory system, is not a cardiac condition, right? And I got a slide here just showing, it's just a little thing showing the opiate filling the receptors. And the next one basically is after you take the Narcan, it literally kicks the opiates off the receptors and plants themselves on the receptors. That allows them, right? Depending on who you talk to and what literature you read, they'll tell you that 30 to 45 minutes is the length that Narcan is good for. And depending on how much of the opiate is in the person's system, it is not uncommon for a person to come out of the overdose, wake up, and then when the Narcan wears off, go back into overdose. So that's why in each one of these kits, and I'm sorry, this is my wife, Suzanne, and she is my able-bodied assistant this evening. She's going to hand out kits and some literature about these to everybody. So basically, here's what the little Narcan kit looks like, right? And we'll talk about it later, but there is an expiration date on the back of it. The FDA back in 2022 said that it was good for 2 years. And they said, now it's good for 3.
3.
Right? And then the end of 2023, they came along and they said about 18 months later, they came back and they said, our stability studies indicate that it's now good for 4. So generally, depending on what your expiration date is, you could probably figure it's probably good for at least a year longer. Okay. But so inside each one of these kits are 2 of the Narcan doses, dispensers. And there's also it's a little plastic shield, a piece of plastic that will cover the person's mouth and nose, right? But it's got an orifice in it. Because one of the things they say that if you're so inclined, and especially if you've had CPR, they recommend doing rescue breathing. But they put this in here so you do not come in direct contact with the individual you're trying to save. All right. So all of our kits have been made available by the New Jersey Harm Reduction Coalition. We developed a relationship, and no charge, they send them to me. So to date, they've sent me probably about 1,200 kits. So if you go to the pharmacy, some pharmacies in the state has a program called Naloxone 365. If you're a pharmacy that participates in that, you give the Narcan away to anybody who comes up and asks for it, right? About 25% of the pharmacies in the state participate in that program. The others, you'll go and you'll ask for it, but they will charge you for it. And the charge for this kit is about $40. So, but anyhow, this is a great relationship we have with them, and I'm so thankful to them for it. Okay, and it was just a picture of the kits. All right, so evaluate for signs of an overdose. Check for responsiveness. Try to shake the person, call out their name. If no response, use the sternal rub, just a knuckle rub right on the chest bone, right? Grind knuckles into their chest bone for 5 to 10 seconds. No response, they could be experiencing an overdose. And I'll say this now because the question will probably come up. If the person is not in an overdose state, there's something else going on. This will not hurt them, right? This is harmless otherwise. So, very important thing to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
For example, if they were having a seizure.
Right. Yep. Right. So, so first go through the thing, try to use some stimuli, see if you can't get a response, then call 911, right? Get them on their way. Because as I say, once you give them this dose, we know it's good for 30 to 45 minutes. Now, in this community, they're probably gonna be there in plenty of time, right? But if you live up in Sussex County, maybe not. So call them right away, get them moving, right? Excuse me. So then step 3 is to administer the Narcan, and it comes in several forms, but the only one you're gonna be concerned with is the intranasal, right? Right. This says only works for 30 to 90 minutes. Most other literature I've seen says it's like 30 to 45 minutes, right? Opiates stay in the body longer. Once naloxone wears off, the person can go back into an overdose, right? Multiple doses of naloxone may be necessary, especially if they're synthetic opioids, which is the fentanyl, right? You know, and fentanyl has become a very, everybody knows, it's heard of fentanyl by now, right? But that's a synthetic opioid. It was developed, I believe, about 1960. It's a tremendous pain reliever, often mostly used in the hospital setting for surgery and that sort of thing. So it has some very legitimate uses, but it's also, unfortunately, pretty easy to make in a garage, in a warehouse, in very untidy conditions, and there is zero quality control. You know, a lot of people say, well, why would the traffickers deliberately put too much in something that's going to cause an overdose? Because they don't know what they're doing. Plain and simple, they do not know what they're doing. And they're probably too busy trying to get the stuff out the door to even worry about it, So step 4, support breathing. We've mentioned that before, but give CPR if you've been trained, or do rescue breathing. Tilt the head back, open the mouth, pinch the nose. Start with 2 slow breaths into the mouth, then 1 breath every 5 seconds, continuing until help arrives. Right? Hang on, I think I already skipped over. So when you administer the naloxone, then you can go into this part. You see there's a little red plunger here. You put your fingers on either side here of the nozzle, right? Insert it into their nose and you hit the red plunger. It is a pressurized release. So when you hit that button, it's going to go. It's all going to go. So get in there. Don't try to do one nostril and the other. Just one nostril and let it go. Right. So after you give them the Narcan, monitor the response. Person should respond in 2 to 5 minutes. Right. So if the individual does not wake up after the first dose, administer the second dose in 2 to 3 minutes. So I would say 2 minutes is really kind of the benchmark here. If there's no response in 2 minutes, give them the second dose. Second dose can go in the other nostril, right? Stay with the individual until first responders arrive. When the person wakes up, explain to them what has happened. If you need to leave, put the individual into the recovery position, which is on their side with their arms in front of their head to prevent them from choking, right? What not to do during an overdose. And I think this is what they did in the frat houses back in the 70s. Don't leave them alone. Don't throw water on them. Don't try walking them around. Don't inject them with anything. Don't put them in the shower. Don't force them to try to eat or drink, and don't let them sleep it off. Right. So again, we'll talk a little bit more about the administration. Look to see if the nasal cavity is free of any blockage. Tilt the person's head back and provide support under the neck with your hand. Gently insert the tip of the nozzle into one nostril until your fingers on either side of the nozzle are against the bottom of the person's nose. Press the plunger firmly to give the dose of Narcan nasal spray. The entire dose goes in one nostril only. Remove the Narcan nasal spray from the nostril after giving the dose. Right. You're covered by the Overdose Prevention Act or the 911 Good Samaritan Act, so you cannot be prosecuted. In summary, have a plan. Know where the Narcan kit is stored. Review how to use the kit frequently. There's a video on how to use the Narcan nasal spray. It's narcannasalspray.com, right? And there's a video that will actually walk you through the whole process. It's like 3.5 minutes long and it's very informative. So, and again, the storage of the Narcan should be, I believe, it's on that sheet, what is it, like 36 to 77 degrees?
Yes.
The right numbers? Wow. Right. So leaving them in your glove box in the summertime is not a good idea. At 104 degrees, it will totally make the product useless. So, I say for the ladies, I think it's a little easier because you usually have a bag or something to carry your personal. With the gentleman, you'll have to kind of bring it in and out, or keep one at the workplace, keep a kit at home, right? Or any place you may be spending some time, you know, we can't have enough of it. I think everybody should have a kit in their medicine cabinet. Yes,
The question is, so we have the board president in the back there. Are there kits available that we could bring to the, I'm not assuming that anyone is doing drugs at the high school, but that would be a place, I would think, that we would want to have some of these kits
Or presentation at
for the presentation.
a presentation. How are you?
I brought it to the attention of our superintendent.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and as I say, I'm happy to do it anytime, anywhere. If somebody wanted me to come and set up a table at the football game one night, and I said, I'd be happy to. When he told me the date, I said, well, my daughter's getting the next day, and I said, that date's not gonna work for me. Yeah, that was a conflict, but I'd be happy to do it anytime, any place, because I'm passionate about the fact that this is a simple thing we all can do, and we can save lives,
Absolutely.
right?
Ask one question.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible to give a copy of the presentation to Angela, and maybe when we
Email it, yeah.
the minutes of minutes of the meeting, she can attach it so it's sort of immortalized there. So
Absolutely,
who
yeah.
watches this can see.
No, I was gonna actually offer that up. I'd be more than happy to email it to her. And that
That'd be
way
great.
you can have it.
And last time at the Rotary, you gave the presentation, you'd mentioned what the profit margin was on this?
Oh, yeah, $1,500 investment in making fentanyl will yield you 1.5 million on the street. So there's some significant financial gain to be had by the traffickers. So there's no question, you know.
I mean, it's scary that you said we're 4% of the population, but we are 80% of the consumers of opioids.
Isn't-
And I know that Purdue Pharma and like some of those other companies had a lot to do in targeting certain communities.
Right.
They knew what they were doing.
Right.
It's very scary. So what does that say about our society?
It's even scary when you log into the site and see what the numbers are in Union County, or you break it down, because of HIPAA laws, it's not published.
Mm-hmm.
And we probably get a settlement once a month.
Yeah.
It's not just, you know.
So it's a lot happening.
It's.
Oh, from the opioid settlement fund, yeah, there's a whole lot.
Wow.
It happens a lot of places that we don't even you wouldn't think,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a nice safety precaution, and I'm glad the mayor allowed it to come forward and rate.
I deeply appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So,
Ray, if you want to give out the kits, they're all,
oh,
they're waiting like little kids. I already got mine.
Thank you, Ray. and Thank you for all you do for mental health. I know that we're very hard in the month of May, or well, leading up to May and May.
And Wilbur has it made coming up.
Thanks, sir. Can't wait. Ray and I have had conversations that,
We have.
we're over at, Sucroff for stuff
I got
there.
food home when these.
2 now.
You guys leave one in.
Yeah, I'll leave one in
Yeah, I'm glad you want
the library and our department. I mean, just, we don't know.
thank you so much.
Right, I just want to thank you for what you're doing.
Oh.
As a paramedic, for 20 years, I have administered Narcan to several patients, and it really is a miracle medicine. I mean,
Yeah,
the response you get from the patient is dramatic.
yeah.
So thank you for what you do. It certainly saves lives.
It's certainly my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Ray.
you so much.
Right. Thank you to your wife. Okay, so our last conference session is a discussion on the proposed ordinance related to chickens. And I think our Township attorney who is remote is going to lead that discussion. We have a draft ordinance. Everybody has a copy of the draft ordinance in hand.
Not him, on my cell phone, so, oh, here it goes, yeah.
Okay. So Scott, could you just
Yep.
walk us through the ordinance, please?
Sure thing. Can you hear me, first of all?
Yes, very, very clearly.
Okay, great. So the first two sections are what I usually call housekeeping sections that are we're just clarifying sections that we already have in the code that are basically both these sections ban prohibit the keeping of chickens and among other animals, and it's basically saying that and the new language is in red there, saying that that's all well and good, but we're going to have another section here on allowing chickens, and you should refer to that. So it's really just referencing and referring readers to the new section, which is section 3 here, which we're sticking in chapter 6.16. That's the section on the chapter where we also have what to do if you have a dog or a cat. That would be adding into that section as well. And so we could just go through this. The first section A is about essentially saying that this is anything to do with farmland that is as defined under state law is not included in here. That's governed by state law, not by us, and we can't really touch that. And that's not really what we're trying to do anyway. So just clarifying that if you own a farm, this is the wrong section for you to be looking at. The next section is sort of a tag on to those previous two sections, which is basically saying that unless we're specifically saying it in here, you're not allowed to keep any sort of animals like pigs, horses, mules, cows, pigeons, or poultry, other than what we're allowing here. Section C, this is where we start to get into the meat of it, and this is C itself starts off by saying that you're allowed to keep 6 chicken hens on a single family residential property, subject to the following conditions and limitations. The first requirement is that you have to obtain an annual permit from the health department if you want to keep or maintain chicken hens. The second section there just defines what is a year, and that it's basically saying that's from January 1st to December 31st. Doesn't matter if you get your permit at the end in, let's say, March. You have it for the calendar year, not for the following year. And that's to keep everything on the same schedule. It's going to make it easier for the health department to keep track of this. Otherwise, if they get, let's say, 20 properties where they want to have these, they're not going to have to try and keep track of when they're up for renewal. Everything's up for renewal at the same time. The next section C3, lays out what are the requirements of a permit. And so this is in addition to, there are some other requirements if we go back up to section 2 of this, there are some specific requirements for permits for all sorts of different kinds of animals. This is all these requirements are in addition to all those things that other section requires. So things like the name, address, the contact information, where you want to do it, how many chickens you want to do. You have to give the dimensions and square footage of the coops and the runs for the chickens. You have to include sketches of where the coop is going to be relative to everything else on the property. It specifically says that you have to have the coops. Any coop or run has to be at least 25 feet from any dwelling or occupied structure. That 25 foot requirement cannot be waived under any circumstances. The reason for that is it's really a health and safety sort of thing. It makes it less likely that vermin or pests or anything like that are going to get into someone's house by keeping that 25-foot requirement. You have to provide a maintenance plan that's going to talk about what your cleaning schedule, and what you're going to be doing for pests and predator control. And then you have to verify, obviously, that you've read and understand all these requirements. Going on to section 4, it says that the health officer or their designee has 30 days to review the application, either grant or deny it. The next section, permit renewals, basically says that unless you are materially changing what you do, you do not need to redo the whole thing, the whole thing that you just did every single year. The only thing that you do have to do potentially every year is have a new inspection by the health officer, but that health inspection is within the health officer's discretion. So if it's known that you're doing everything right and fine and nothing's changing, and there's not necessarily any particular reason to do it, to do a new inspection every single year, the health officer may waive that in their discretion. We have some permit fees for what's going to be required, and this section 6 refers to that, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. That's at the end of the section here. One thing about that is the fees are not prorated. So I mentioned if you get your permit in March, you don't only have to pay for a little under half the fee. You have to pay for the whole fee for the entire year, whether you get in March or January or August or anything like that. Section 7 gives us some specific requirements of what for the coops and the runs, and what they have to be like, what they have to contain. So, for example, obviously chicken hens have to be confined to the coops and the runs. That you can't have them free range around your house 24 hours a day. That's the whole point of having the coop there is for both their protection as well as everyone else's. The coop and the runs have to have at least 3 square feet of usable floor space per chicken to make sure that they're large enough. You're not stuffing a bunch of chickens into a tiny little area. You have to make sure that the coops have to be kept dry. They have to be well ventilated. They have to have an impermeable roof, and they have to be enclosed on at least 3 sides. You have to have obviously a sufficient number of roosts for each chicken. You have to have an impermeable material on the floor of your coop and run, is to make sure that nothing is seeping into the ground. That it's going to make it easier for people to clean up after the chickens. Coops and the runs have to have at least 1 nesting box for every 3. So every 3 chickens. So up to two nesting boxes. And it also gives the size requirements of 12 inches by 12 inches for each nesting box. Section 8 just requires that the coops and the runs have to have enough security to prevent predators and vermin from getting in. That's what exactly that entails is going to be up to the I'll say up to the owner in conjunction with the health department. The owner can propose what they like, and then obviously they'll be up to the health officer to ensure that whatever it is it's being proposed is sufficient. Number 9 just has some additional requirements for the coops and runs. I'll say these are more general to like the maintenance of them, that they have to be kept in clean and sanitary condition. They have to be, the feed for chicken hens has to be stored in a metal container fitted with a cover to make sure that other animals can't get in there. The drinking fountains for the coops and runs have to be cleaned and supplied with fresh water, clean water, and that they can be inspected upon if someone files a complaint against someone, that they can be inspected. There's one section here, 9G, at the very end of this. There's a typo that I need to fix. It references this references the code in TNEC, which I need to update to Berkeley Heights. And what this is saying is that the coops and runs are, in addition to everything that we just said, they're also subject to all of the other requirements of any other accessory structure that's set forth in our zoning code. So there are height restrictions and other setback requirements and things like this. Other things like that you have to comply with. You're not suddenly exempt from them just because it's a coop. You can't build a 5-story coop or something like that and call it that. There are other requirements in here. So, for example, if there's you have a sick chicken, or there's an unexplained death, you have to report it to the state. And that's a state requirement they have to do. And then in section 12 has a number of prohibitions of things that you cannot do. For example, you can't keep roosters. You can't have you can't scatter their food around your yard. You can't sell your chicken, your eggs. That's not the point of this is not to allow people to create like a commercial enterprise in their backyard. And you can't just slaughter chicken or willfully abandon them, that would constitute cruelty to animals, which is against state law. Section 13 is the grandfather clause that I believe was requested by some of the members of the council. This allows anyone who currently has more than 6 chickens and who if they have more than 6 chickens currently and they have a valid permit for it. If this ordinance is adopted, it allows them to keep those those chickens above 6 for the rest of that chicken's life. They can't be replaced by another chicken once. Let's say you have 7 chickens, and this ordinance goes into effect, and one of them dies. You can't replace it with another chicken. Stay above 6. You're grandfathered in until the number of chickens above 6 is reduced to 6.
Hey, Scott,
Yeah.
just real quick, regarding the language here, now, of course, we don't have the ability, we don't have a permit process, so we should probably look into changing the language here.
Sure.
We definitely have, obviously, there's several family members that have more than 6 chickens. It says over here who have valid permits for the same. So right now, I think we should probably reword the language.
That's fine. We can do that. That's fair enough.
By the way,
then,
is six a hard number, or can we up that?
I mean, you can do whatever you want. I will say at a certain point, let me say you can increase it if you would like. Just keep in mind that obviously the more you're increasing it, the more the requirements are going to be to
Right, the space of the coop and so forth. Yeah.
Exactly. And so yeah. I would say 4, 6 approximately is pretty typical. I'm not sure that I've seen a town with more than that. But if that's something that you guys want to do, there's no reason you can't.
Okay.
Margaret, you had a question?
Well, so I had messaged Scott earlier today. I'm
Mhm.
just waving my hand in space to where Scott is.
Wherever Scott is.
So I don't like the natural life of the chicken because it's too unspecified. So I understand that the inspectors are gonna go annually with the permit, but like, how do they know that the white chicken didn't pass away and was replaced with another white chicken? Right, so they're gonna know when they looked at it the first time, there were 8 chickens or there were 9 chickens. And now next year, they're gonna go and there were, 9 chickens. And the next year, they're gonna go and there were 9 chickens. And we don't always have the same health inspector. So I don't understand how that tracking is going to work if we're issuing permits and things like that. So I would be much more comfortable with an amount of time that gives the family time to rehome the birds. So.
Wasn't there language here regarding the death of a chicken? I mean,
It says that you
Natural-
can't replace it,
Right,
but
but it also, wait, I thought there was a separate language that said, you must report, to the
To
Department
the
of Health.
state.
That's if you have a sick or if you have a chicken that's sick or one that there's an unexplained death and you don't know why.
Right, unexplained that. And most of the time when these chickens die, we have no idea what they die of. So I would imagine that just the reporting of that, I mean, we'll have an idea that, okay, we went from 9, now we got 8. And if we count 9, when we go for that inspection, clearly.
they understand that there's a reporting requirement that they, like,
That's up to
there's
health
no,
department.
yes, we say it's mandated that they report, but we have no way of proving that they report.
That's gonna be up to the health.
Chickens in their back. Well, I understand that, but we already only have a part-time health inspector who currently does not inspect chickens.
Can I ask a question? Scott, maybe you can answer this. Can we, as a governing body, require reports from the Department of Agriculture, Division of Animal Health? Let us know, maybe monthly or maybe every 6 months, if there is something that, will allow us to keep those numbers.
We can't require them to do that. We can just make regular requests like you would with like a regular Oprah sort of thing. But we can't require them to do that. It would have this similar effect, but it's not quite exactly the same. It would still be dependent on us for making the request.
15 years.
Yeah, I don't think.
Would something like that answer Margaret's question or her concern as far
Well,
as?
there's a question from
knowing-
Andrew.
Oh,
What's the lifespan of a chicken? And I heard Margaret say 15
I
years.
did look it up. It's 15 years, and then for pet chickens, well cared for, loved birds, it can be longer than that.
So can I ask a question? Do we have any homes in town that have an abundance of more than a dozen chickens or 9 chickens, or mostly they're 4
Most
to
people
6?
have that I know of, that, again, the permit department never issued permits, so these chickens are here by the grace of Chickenwood. They're there, I've seen chickens anywhere from 6 to 8 in places I've passed that people have.
Mhm.
There are a few one family I know that might have more.
Well, there is, I mean, the family that introduced this, they have at least a dozen.
And
I was at their home, over the weekend, and they do an amazing job. I mean, the coops are very well maintained, but certainly they have a lot more than 6 chickens. So that's why I'm concerned that we definitely introduce this grandfathering effect. And I understand, Margaret, your concern about the reporting. Clearly, we have to, rely on their honesty. And honestly, they should be not only reporting it to the Department of Health on the state level, but just letting the township know, okay, we have a bird that passed away, and right now we are from 12 to 11, and we just have to sort of maintain that.
yeah, I don't think it's a loophole for them to keep on getting chicken after
What-
chicken. I think it's more of a
what-
humane system to phase
What,
out.
one thing I would suggest, and I understand obviously, as members of the community, these homeowners who have, X number of chickens. I would, encourage the council to think of this in terms of the numbers here, in terms of whatever number you think is appropriate for, the entire town, rather than a specific, property owner, just because that property owner could move out tomorrow, and then we're stuck with an ordinance that allows maybe more chickens than you guys necessarily want. Or, tomorrow we adopt this and 20 houses suddenly want to have more chickens than we probably are comfortable with. So I would just keep in mind, obviously, this is going to impact the whole town, and not just a couple people.
Well, what if we had an amnesty period that before the ordinance, we introduced the ordinance, if you have more than 6 chickens, you have to report it. We get a sense of how many people that is. If we're talking 2 or 3 families,
It's only.
it may not be as large or pervasive of a problem as we might think.
Right.
We
I
grandfather
mean,
people and keep
well-
it at 6 going forward. like that.
Well, we can't, until we adopt this, we can't make anything required like that. What we could do is some sort of survey, to see if this is actually an issue or not. It's not, there's nothing binding about it, but that's definitely a common tactic that towns take to try to find out that sort of info.
I mean, I definitely would want to keep the number lower. I wouldn't want to say we rise our number up to the family that has.
I was only thinking maybe
Ah,
8.
right.
I was thinking 8, not 6. But there's definitely,
They become pets, they're no longer.
A lot of pets.
There you are.
It's like having 8 dogs.
I just want to say that I misremembered that number. Chickens live approximately 10 years. They can live longer if they're well treated and very healthy.
No, you were right, there's 8 to 15 years for chickens.
So up to 15 years, 8 to 10 is normal. But that's a long time from an ordinance to say, for the next 8 years, we're gonna have to Board of Health is gonna have to keep track of the numbers in this flock. That's my only point. I understand, we don't want to
No, I
negatively impact families involved, but it just seems like it's a long time for us to keep that window open.
I just think the phase out is more of a controlled, humane process.
Describe that. What is,
The phase out?
yeah,
I think it's a more humane process.
what does that look
It-
like
it
when they
was-
die and you just don't
Don't
replace?
replace them. Yeah, for the families.
So
that
the
have-
attrition, yeah.
And for the town, because we're just coming in to inspect. You have the numbers, that's there. And we're gonna be taking the good faith of some of these people, not replacing their chickens and playing chicken roulette. But I just think it's a lot easier than a health department coming in every year and saying, no, it's a different chicken.
Right, but they're not, my point is, they're not gonna know. And
Yeah.
I think,
It's gonna be
Okay, well,
good faith of the people, but it's.
So don't we have in a couple of these, the size of the runs, Each coop shall remain a cumulative minimum of 3 square feet of usable floor space per chicken. Aren't we limiting them to the number that they can have
Space.
based on the
Based on
space
space.
they have on the street?
Some degree, yeah.
Yeah, some degree.
And
yeah.
25-foot setback, yeah.
And if you go to,
25 feet from the neighboring building.
or any building. it says
If you
any-
have
12 chickens.
If you have,
No, it's not, it's so, it says,
3 square feet per chicken.
it says 25 feet from any dwelling or occupied structure, so that's a home, not a
Right.
separated garage or,
garage, okay.
So,
and it says other than the owner's dwelling. So it does, there's no limit to how close it can be to your home. If I was getting chickens,
And we modify
I
that,
could put my coop up next to my house if I want to,
Mhm.
according to the ordinance, the way it's written.
Yeah, but I
But
mean,
it has to be within, it can't be closer than 25 feet from my neighbor's property, from my neighbor's house.
Mhm.
And it has to meet the setback requirements, which are 10, 12, 15 feet.
then you're requiring 3 square feet of usable floor
chicken.
space per chicken.
No, it's
That increases it even.
yeah, it can't go next to your house, because G.
That's what my question was, why, how come 3 chickens can share one nesting box? I thought like when you're laying,
They fight over the boxes, you'll
They
find.
why shouldn't they have their own? Like if
If you
you're,
have 6 boxes.
Yeah.
My son has 16, and out of all the boxes that are there, you'll find the chickens all dive to 2 boxes.
Hmm.
They don't say, okay, this is my room. They get possessed. Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah, there's a whole book at the library on chickens, and they're very,
Lunch pigs, all the toys are.
interesting, but you would think if they're,
Yeah.
oh, because
Okay,
they're just
so-
laying, there's no rooster.
no rooster.
Got it. I'm thinking about the chicken that has to protect its little baby egg and it needs its own nesting box.
Well, they do,
There's no rooster.
they start brooding as you pull the eggs out every day, they stop brooding because the eggs aren't there.
Right.
Okay, so where does it say it has to be 25 feet?
Right now, it's marked off under the G, he's gonna modify that G on, we're gonna redo, because that says for Teaneck.
Yeah.
G of 1610, it says hoops and runs containing chicken hens shall comply with the requirements for accessory structures as set forth in, and as for the Teaneck ordinance. Providing further, the hoops and runs shall be kept no less than 25 feet from the door or window of any dwelling or occupied habitable structure or any other owner's dwelling. So it's any dwelling of
Okay,
a door window.
But up above on page 2, C3 EI.
Yep.
C, number 7C?
No, C,
All
E,
hoops
I.
and runs shall not be situated less than 25 feet from any dwelling or occupied structure other than the owner's dwelling.
Then it gets changed.
That's the one that I was referring to, that.
Okay, that's the one I
Yeah.
read.
That'll get changed to
The
any.
Teaneck one I ignored because I knew that reference wasn't correct, so.
Yeah, that could be changed. I'm sure Scott can change that to any dwelling at all, so this way it doesn't go in your neighbor's window. But again, you're
Yep.
very few on the property line that I've seen. But you're right, it's good to be safe on that.
so I just want to make a quick point here. The
What's the intention on that? Is it 25 feet from any dwelling unit or 25 feet from your neighbors?
The intention of it was from neighbors, but that, because the reason being that the accessory requirements would have their own restriction from your own house, but those accessory requirements aren't between you and your neighbors,
So I just want
except for generic setbacks, which are like, 5 feet, 10 feet, something like that. So the idea is that the accessory, which I don't remember what the numbers off the top of my head, but the accessory requirement would have its own. That way it can't be literally right next to it.
Just want to clarify one thing regarding dwellings. So the family that introduced this, their coops are state-of-the-art, beautiful, but they are actually attached to the deck. Now, the deck, of course, is attached to the dwelling. And the deck is pretty far. I mean, or I should say very wide. So I'm saying that it certainly would, I guess, accommodate the 25-foot restriction. But I just wanted to be sure that we don't necessarily need to move this coop away from the deck, because is the deck considered part of the dwelling?
Wait, hold on, Bill. It says all
No,
coops and runs shall not be situated less than 25 feet from any dwelling or occupied structure other than the owner's dwelling. So it's their deck.
It's
It
okay.
can be there.
Yeah.
No, but then in this one, it says any dwelling.
Yeah, so.
Well, luckily, it's just like, Gonna be
Right,
tweaked
this
by
is,
Scott.
right. Yes.
Scott just clarified.
Yeah, and in any event, the deck, to answer that specific question, the deck is not considered that because the deck itself is an accessory use.
So other than the owner's dwelling.
So
It's inconsistent, I think.
so
We'll see, other than
I
the
don't
owner's
think these two are
dwelling.
there. Both of those sections, both say 25 feet for any property other than the owner's property.
Other
They're
than
both
the owner's
consistent in that regard. They're both consistent on that.
All right, so it's consistent.
It is.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Now that we're done with the 25 feet, I have a question, which is, I guess it's gonna have to be a follow-up from the Board of Health. Is the $75 inspection fee, will that cover the township's cost for having a health inspector who is trained to do chickens, go out and do an inspection? Because if the inspection is gonna cost us $100, then the fee should be $100.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. As a matter of fact, I don't know where the $75 came from, but I think we should up it to $275.
So
Annual
can you
permit fee?
confirm that with the Board of Health on what that number should be? We're not introducing this right now, right?
No, this is just conference. This is just discussion.
What do the other towns charge?
I had pulled the 75 from I don't remember the specific towns off the top of my head, but there were a number of towns nearby. That's now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I don't remember when they were last updated. So for all I know, they came up with 75, 15 years ago, and I'm not sure. But I pulled that. They come from the surrounding towns, but I'm not sure if they're updated or not.
No, Scott.
We were a larger town with our own health inspector and saying, it's an hour of their time and $75 is a reasonable amount of money. But because we don't have our own health inspector, we're doing a share.
We should know what the base
Totally agree.
cost is
Right.
of what we're dealing with.
That's all I'm asking.
Just add to that, administrative that.
We don't lose money.
We need to know the base cost.
We can't make money.
And the other thing that isn't here is any type of fines or penalties. So if somebody doesn't get a license or a permit and they have chickens, what happens? If they, don't keep the flock size to 6, if they don't keep it clean or whatever, what is the next step?
I think that would probably fall under our police department. Our humane law enforcement officer can actually go ahead and write a summons for those who are actually in violation.
But then
we do have our general penalty, which I don't remember specifically in Berkeley, but typically it's up to $2,000 fine. They're in theory 30 days in prison, although that never happens. Sometimes in ordinances you will refer to them in every single ordinance, but you don't really actually need to do that because you still have the general ordinance. If anyone violates any part of the code, it's still the general penalty still apply. So it would be our general penalty.
I just want to make sure that our police department, if that's the avenue, that the police department has those little codes
Yes,
that equal this
right.
chicken violations. So that they can.
Why would it be Baca? Why would it be the zoning officer, Scott?
It depends on what the specific violation was. It could be depending on what exactly they're doing. For example, if they have chickens, they're not supposed to have chickens, and it's a zoning officer thing. If they're out back slaughtering chickens or willfully abandoning them, that's more of a police issue.
Okay. So we need to check with both.
But Scott, shouldn't it say who's responsible for enforcing this? In the code, whether it's department or zoning. I mean, if it's slaughtering chickens, that's, pet cruelty.
That's
That is not in question, but.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. We can put that in there. That's not a problem.
Okay.
And then if this is zoning, then would there be possible variances requested through?
No variance is allowed. I read that somewhere.
It only said variances allowed out the 25 feet.
Correct. Yeah. Other than that.
Hey, let's go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, no, that's correct. The one thing that you cannot get variance from is the 25-foot thing, and that's because you can make an agreement with your neighbor, and then tomorrow they move, and now the next person that buys is now stuck with your chickens right on their curb on the edge of the property. So other than that, you know, a variance can almost essentially always be requested or sought.
Okay, thank you.
I want to play devil's
With the
advocate.
variance before.
Would anyone have any complaints if this goes up to 8 chickens versus 6? Only because I know how the chickens roost.
Right.
And
Well, that's why I thought 8. I
and
thought 8 also.
we'll talk about probably on that also, but I know there's chickens are very territorial and they tend to forget the pond flock together. So 6 are kind of low and they start fighting sometimes. There's not.
Yeah, they tend to be better in larger numbers. It's pretty interesting how they.
Think about it, research it,
That said, can we go to 7D? Because it says a sufficient number of roosts shall be provided. Who decides on that?
7.
Each individual chicken capped, 7D.
Oh,
What's
let me
the
find
ratio?
each individual,
Wait, hold on a second.
Sufficient, what is sufficient? Like I don't know chickens.
one for each.
Then
One
I
for
think
each.
Aren't the roosts usually like, it's a bar
Yeah.
within the?
No, there's boxes.
No, those are the nesting boxes.
Nesting boxes, the roosts are gonna be,
The roosts are places
bars,
for them to sit when they're not in their nesting box.
they said everybody, they said my son has chairs, he has old chairs and they sit in the chairs. And there's, like the ladders, they set the ladders.
I get what you're saying, but I think if we're saying a sufficient number, like I think that has to be clarified. What is a sufficient number? Is it
I don't know.
one roost, like a nesting box is one nesting?
Right,
box?
so I would say,
Well, would that equate to how many chickens you have? Because how many roosts would you need? Is there a number that equates to how many chickens and how many you would?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Girl, yeah.
So let's say that we'll ask Scott to look into that as
Yeah.
well.
Yes.
6 chickens, 8 chickens, it's a foot per.
Well, we were just-
roost is 8.
Yeah, we were clear about the nesting boxes, so I just wasn't sure why we weren't clear about the roosts.
Yeah, good.
That's
I don't
That's
know,
that's a fair point. I can figure that out. That's not a problem.
doesn't hurt to ask.
All right, so are we good now?
No.
I think so.
All right, just to wrap it up, we're gonna find out what a sufficient number of roosts are. We're gonna, take out the T-neck, add Berkeley Heights. I think we're gonna try to get a sense of how many families have more than 6 to 8 chickens. Maybe through Baco, who's probably been notified. And then maybe the police department as well would have a sense of it, and maybe the families can help us drill down on that number. We're gonna find out through the Board of Health, what the base cost is for an inspection, and we're gonna build, the actual fees off of that, figure out what other administrative costs we may have. Then we're gonna write a penalty section in, not bifurcating, but I guess discerning what's zoning and what's PD. Is that, everybody agree with that?
Mhm.
Yep.
That's the breakdown?
Yes.
Andrew, Margaret, Susan?
Yeah.
John,
Yeah,
Danny?
absolutely.
Yep.
I think the only thing we didn't agree on was 4 to 6, 6 to 8.
Well, we'll have to give that some thought and
And I
then,
still have an issue with the open-ended life of the chicken.
Oh, and the other thing also is and that one clause on 13, on 116, 6.16.010, number 13. Which Bill had brought up, persons who lawfully possess more than 6 chickens who
Yeah, the
have.
permits.
okay, right, because we don't have a permitting.
We don't have
That
permits.
gets stricken.
Yeah.
And then permits that have been grandfathered, we don't have
No
permits.
permits,
Right,
yeah,
right, exactly.
so.
Okay, so then-
Yep.
Where we get when I brought up the thing about the health department and getting a report from them, would that be something that you think we could look at and say, hey, this number of chickens are based on, okay, one passes away, we know about it because we have to report, is that?
We only know about it if people report.
Well, yeah,
So in this model, we're issuing a permit. And then after they install the coops, there'll be an inspection. Then it's an annual renewal. We'll go back out and we'll inspect for the requirements in here. But we don't, I assume that there would be some sort of a note with the permit to say that this is, this family has 12 chickens in 2025. And now in 2026, they shouldn't have 15, but they can have 12 because we said the life of the chicken. So then if they're not gonna identify, we're not taking pictures of chickens to put in files.
Well, you could.
I mean, same thing as with dog licenses. I mean, people have dogs in this town and I'm not sure if everyone has their dog license. You have to trust
No, they certainly don't.
the right thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, and then go ahead.
No, I'm just making
I
sure
think
we
we
capture everything.
covered a lot of things and there's a lot of homework.
Yep.
And then maybe the public has something to say.
Gonna have the best darn chicken.
I asked Mr. Poe to fight them chickens.
Next.
I always allow for residents to make comments on our specific conference session, so if anyone would like to come forward, just give your name and address for the record and try to keep your comments to 3 minutes related to the chicken ordinance. All right, go ahead, Joe. Joe and then Steve.
Dwyer Danza, 923 Mountain Avenue. Would it be possible, not that I really care about this that much, that you could go into an individual contract with these people? Scott, are you listening? I guess
Yeah,
not.
I am sorry. I didn't realize I was muted. An individual contract.
Instead of going through all this rigmarole with all this ordinances, is it legal to go into a contract with a homeowner that you could lay out all the parameters that you want to keep?
So
on and so forth.
you could, I wouldn't advise it because one, that would mean every single contract would need to go before the council for approval. And that would set us up for potentially, one resident gets some set of terms on their contract versus another resident that gets different set of terms, and we have inconsistencies. I would also say that the application itself, the permit application it is in a, it's
I got
very
it.
similar to.
You don't have to go crazy. I understand. From a
Fair
legal
enough.
standpoint, it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, exactly. That's the legal phrase, actually.
We're straightening up the ordinance, because one part of the ordinance, our township ordinance says no chickens, the other one says yes.
And we have horses and pigs and all that stuff. Like she said about dogs, how many people don't have a license? Anyways, I wish we spent more time like this when we talk about overdevelopment. Thank you.
Sorry.
Jake Rawls, 35 Sycamore Avenue. It's like he set me up for this. It's like, I just want to say the level of detail and public debate and discussion and getting to an end. I'd like to see this more often on other issues. And the use of this conference session to hash these things out before someone actually sees an ordinance. So keep up that good work.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, we're going to move into the regular agenda, but before we do, I know there's several residents who are here related to the flooding, so I want to give an update so you don't have to stay till the end after the council reports and another maybe hour here. So as many know, over the past several weeks, Berkeley Heights has been working with our neighboring communities, county, state, and federal partners to address persistent flooding issues along the Passaic River. Last week or about 10 days ago, I joined or actually asked members of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, Union County, and several local mayors to tour the river and review the most impacted areas firsthand, and one of our residents who's here as well. I do want to thank everyone who attended, especially those who literally traipsed through the wildlife with us to see the challenges up close. Since that meeting, I have reached out to our township's grant writer to research funding opportunities for desnagging and desilting projects, which are critical to improve water flow and reduce blockages. We'll also be meeting with Union County officials to establish a clear roadmap for the next steps. In the meanwhile, we are coordinating a regional, this is the county, a regional, this is me. In the meantime, I am coordinating a regional coalition of mayors from Berkeley Heights, New Providence, Summit, Long Hill, Warren, and Union County, and potentially Union County, to lobby our federal legislator for a new Army Corps of Engineering study and federal funding to support river restoration efforts. For those of you that I shared the report, I think it was May of last year, the Army Corps had several requests of the federal government to include it in its budget. Unfortunately, that fell on deaf ears, so now we are going to attempt a lobbying effort of local mayors and county officials. Additionally, Union County is exploring a shared service agreement for an amphibious machine, they already have it, that can help remove debris and sediment where appropriate. The county is also working to revive the 2012 Desnagging Coalition, which will partner with DEP, Army Corps of Engineers, to identify problem areas, estimate costs, and shared responsibilities across municipalities So this is something that was done effectively 13 years ago, but really it's a regional problem. Obviously, we can't remedy what we're doing in Berkeley Heights, and we've done a lot if we don't have partnership from Long Hill and New Providence and Morris County. It's got to be upstream and downstream as well. Locally, our flooding task force continues to engage on flood prevention education, including the importance of keeping easements and storm drains, and I think you guys are meeting eminently. I've asked Margaret and Andrew to help spearhead that with our local residents. I know some of them may be in the audience this evening. Our DPW and engineering teams are mapping township-owned waterways, identifying access points for maintenance, and notifying property owners of their responsibility to maintain their section of the river. And finally, our OEN team will be sharing their comprehensive report that they wrote for the July 14th storm with the Army Corps of Engineers. I'm sure many know now we were not eligible for FEMA funds. We were about $3 million short in what's required for the federal government to pay back those funds. So that's on our back now, unfortunately. So I plan to update the community within the next month of the progress that we've made on those 5 or 6 steps. It was encouraging, as I explained it. I think we have a short-term goal, we have a medium-term goal, and we have a long-term goal. So the short-term goal is to continue to do what we can locally with our engineering and our DPW department. Sort of that medium range goal is creating or recreating that coalition, seeing what we can do about literally getting buy-in from other communities to help work on the river collectively. And then the long-term solution is getting that federal earmark or appropriation in the budget and doing a project that'll probably take 10 years to build out. So just to be realistic. And then the other thing that I happened to stumble upon is that Union County applied for and received a permit to, I think it's DSNAG. Let's call it cleaning the river near the Berkeley caterers. So that will also give us some additional assistance. But got it in an email, wasn't notified by the county, but got it in an email and was happy to see that. So with that, I just wanted to make sure you guys were all updated and didn't have to wait until the remainder of the meeting. But with that, let's move on to the regular agenda.
Okay, I move that the following minutes as distributed be accepted and approved.
Any discussion?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
I was just waiting for the date, sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize. Public meetings, August 7th, 2025, August 19th, 2025, and September 16th, 2025.
No.
Okay, any other discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo.
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis. Yes. Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Abstain.
And Mrs. Polk.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the ordinances.
It's Andrew, I think.
Andrew.
Move to open the public hearing on ordinances be considered for final adoption.
Right.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo.
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis. Yes. Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Mrs. Polk.
Yes.
Okay, comments on ordinances up for final adoption are welcome during the public hearing. There will be one public hearing for all the ordinances listed. Before making a comment, all speakers must identify their name and address for the record. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes, and I'm going to hold tight to that. Council President Foster will let us know.
Big clock.
Okay, with that, I'm opening up the hearing on ordinances only. So that's 2025-27, 2025-28. And that's it, just 2. Seeing no one? Right? Okay.
I move to close the public hearing on the ordinance being for final adoption.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo.
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis. Yes. Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Mrs. Polk.
Yes. Madam Clerk, would you please read the ordinance?
Ordinance 2025-27, amending the Township Code for the Township of Berkeley Heights to amend Chapter 13.12.260 and provide for the maintenance of the end-user sewer agreement.
I move to adopt the ordinance as read by the clerk.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Kudo.
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis. Yes. Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Mrs. Polk.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, please read ordinance 2025-28.
An ordinance authorizing the award of a contract to Verizon Wireless for lease of real property owned by the Township of Berkeley Heights located at 259 Diamond Hill Road in the Township of Berkeley Heights also known as Block 4501, Lot 1 on the Township tax map.
I move to adopt the ordinance as read by the clerk.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo. Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis. Yes. Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Mrs. Pope.
Yes.
I move to open the citizens hearing.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo.
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis. Yes. Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Mrs. Pope.
Yes.
Here's the long version. Comments are welcome during the public comment period during this matter over which the township has jurisdiction. To make your comment, the speaker must come forward to the microphone and state his or her name and address for the record. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. The mayor and/or council president will keep time. Please promptly yield the floor when time is called and return to your seat. Your cooperation and adherence to these rules of order will ensure an orderly and respectful meeting. With that, I open the citizens' hearing.
Joe Iadance, 923 Mountain Avenue. A couple of comments, questions regarding water problems. The day before you had your meeting, I saw private contractors doing work by the soccer field, and it looked like they were cleaning away debris and brush. Who paid for that? Anybody know?
What soccer field?
There was a contractor there with
No, which soccer field? I don't know.
soccer field on Springfield Avenue by the Robbins Creek. The two big fields that are parallel to the, I think the senior citizens or the,
Oh, it was us. We did it.
No, it's not Park Avenue, it's off.
No, we did the work. An outside contractor did the work.
yes, I know.
On behalf of the township, but the township paid for it, yes.
That's cool. Thank you. The other thing is that I did a little bit of research and it says Union County is, I also did a little survey around town. Just about every bridge I saw has a plaque on it saying Union County built it. So Union County is obligated to ensure that the bridges it builds do not clog streams and rivers according to New Jersey State environmental regulations. So the county we have a vested interest to make sure the county pulls their weight. Now, they're also for long-term maintenance, it says here, they got to ensure that any debris removal from a clogged channel known as stream cleaning, I think you said that before, follows DEP guidelines. And government agencies must obtain a general permit GP 26 for minor cleaning activities. And it also means they enforce anti-littering ordinances. Okay, so want to let you know about that. And because I want you to get these guys to do what they're supposed to do. Now, a lot of that area that you guys were at is part of the Passaic River Parkway and the Passaic River Parkway. And that's all Union County. And a lot of these streams that all come down go into that parkway, and I think that's where the bottleneck is. Like I couldn't understand why Briarwood East was getting hammered so bad. And I see that there's the creek to go through there. They call it the Robbins Avenue Creek. And then I did a little bit of more research. Now, I don't know, there's no engineer here today, but do all the sewers connect? Because I think some of them, one of these little maps I have, there seems to be public sewers and there seems to be private sewers. And I don't know if that was done when people were doing development. So those are the things I think we should be looking at. So I don't know if we got to get someone to run snakes, do one of those tests that they put the camera on. But, I mean, I don't live anywhere near there, but it's a real shame. And hopefully something positive comes out of it. And last but not least, I don't know if you guys know that there's a thing called the public trust doctrine that establishes the legal principle that establishes government's responsibility to protect natural resources. Okay, I'm done. But
Good timing, Joe. Thank you.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, sure.
About the lines? I believe, our sewer director, Alan Kennedy, was here at the last meeting, and he specifically told us that the township is running cameras and running through PSNS about some astronomical number of mileage.
Oh, absolutely.
Of pipes.
Totally
So
understand.
that, to your point, I think that's gonna be covered at some point. We're gonna get some sort of report.
Well, what I'm concerned about before you people all came here, when they started doing a lot of this buildings, especially along Springfield Avenue, somewhere along the line, the water's supposed to flow into the river relatively easy. And I know it's being snagged because of trees and so on and so forth. But if the county has a responsibility to make sure that everything under those bridges, because that seems to be the big choke point, you know? Just want to let you know, that's my opinion, and that's what I followed up on.
Don, you were referring to sewer, but this is stormwater.
Stormwater.
Separate.
Stormwater. I'm sorry, but stormwater.
The-
And I was also looking for the amount of sewers that are in that area.
Sewers.
I did correct it.
It's
Thank
separate,
you.
right, it's separate.
Nice to get informal surveys. Anyone else freezing?
I raised the heat before, George, bump it up to 73.
But no, I just want a survey. If I'm the only one that's freezing.
I'm a little cold.
Okay. Thank you.
It could be different there.
Oh, you're hot?
You're right.
I'm usually hot. I'm not feeling hot. There you go.
I must be blowing on us.
Don't fix it for me then. I'll suffer. Oh, what a gentleman. Last time this happened, it was my husband at a wedding.
Well, don't tell
Hey, sir.
Left pocket has the money.
them. Whoa, hey now.
You don't have to set the timer. It's a quick question. I actually have to leave. Ruth Brogdon, 133 Lawrence Drive. Thank you very much for all the work that you've done. Thank you very much for convening all those people on the 26th. I knew that takes a great deal of coordination. Short, medium, long term, they all sound really good. I like those buckets, but do we have actual dates to any of them?
No. No,
And can we get actual dates?
you need to give us a few months because we have to work through putting together the coalitions, the federal appropriation. You know, there's a budget process. It's a little nebulous, so give us a few months to kind of get that together, but I understand wanting that and making sure that we're hitting those marks.
And for the task force, I know one of the possible tasks of the task force is communication with the community. And maybe, I don't know, some newsletters, some good, like nice little posts or something on the website. So then we can get the dates and we know what's going on and then we don't bother you as much.
I enjoy seeing you though.
you.
Thank you so much. Anybody else?
Anybody else? The public comment section. I don't want you to miss your opportunity.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's not even gonna be 3 minutes. I'm literally just introducing myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Sal Salemi. I live on 22 Greenbrier Drive. So great to hear that you guys are doing a ton of work as far as everything that happened over on Greenbrier East. It was a pretty scary day for all of us. Legitimately just coming, I bought in Berkeley Heights like 3-4 months ago. I've never been to a town council meeting. I came out of pure curiosity. It was really interesting, the chicken conversation. Poor Angela, I've emailed her and called her on numerous occasions asking random questions. So it's so nice to meet you. Sorry for my crazy emails about parking passes. But beyond that, yeah, just really appreciate it. Just came to listen and nice to meet. Oh, one more thing. The Economic Development Committee, I mean, you can't really tell, but I've about 12-15 years of experience working in private public companies. I'm super interested in that. I see you guys have a lot of folks that are expiring at the end of the year. So instead of just submitting an application, I figured I'd come and introduce myself.
That's
What's that?
awesome. Yes.
Submit the application in and get it in. So you might just-
Perfect, fantastic. All right, that's it for me. So nice to meet y'all. Angela, sorry again. Thank you. Sal Salemi. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Thank you, Sam.
Pleasure.
That was gonna be my pitch, Sal. I was gonna say, new to town, we always need volunteers on all our committees, so.
Yeah. Happy to be
Volunteering and not make me Mr. Arm. I appreciate that.
Nice to meet you.
And Sal, did you sign up for all the alerts?
Got the
You
newsletter.
signed up the alerts, the newsletters and the 911?
I signed up for the
I
alert.
asked you first.
I have not signed up for any.
Okay, go to the township website,
A
sign up.
lot
for
of
the
good
alerts.
information.
And then sign up also with the police department. This way you're registered on both sites. And this way you get the 911 alerts. And then with the township alerts on our website, you can get minutes of everything and post notices for everything. Thank you. We'd love to have you in the economic development, so. Anyone else?
I once.
Going twice?
Our only public session.
I know this is the public session. This is your opportunity.
We used to do it at the end as well, but this is the only one.
Come on up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, new faces.
How are you? I don't live in Berkeley Heights, but I'm so happy to be here and meet you. Gabriella Wilday, 219 Sunset Avenue, Ridgewood, New Jersey. I like to travel around the state and see what other municipalities are up to. Also very impressed with the chicken discussion, even that is up for discussion in ordinance. But I did want to mention that I was blown away by the performance, the presentation that the gentleman from the Rotary Club did. I'll say I have 3 teenagers. One is a sophomore in college, and then twins that are seniors in high school. So I'm in that crunch application, everything. But I will tell you that all 3 of my children travel with Narcan kits because it is highly likely that at some point in the next 5 years, they will witness somebody in a situation where they would wish that they had Narcan on them. So I think it's a must-have for our youth. I think unfortunately, a lot of the overdoses that we're seeing are not intentional. The illicit market doesn't care about sanitation. I got news for you. And like that gentleman said, 1 grain on a table, right, where they were cutting something else that gets into marijuana, cannabis, and it's lights out. So I fully support his initiative and the initiative of the Rotary of Mental Health.
You have their, I'll give you.
I did, and I got my own kit.
But I want to make sure.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And thank you for your comments. Welcome from Ridgewood.
Hey, good evening. I'm Leo Flug, 64 Richland Drive, 257. Guess what? I'm a bike rider in town. Is it your son or is that you? You?
I'm all over town.
Yes.
Faster than me.
Not by much.
He's 1,000 miles more than I have for the year. But I wanted to point out something. Anybody been on Union Avenue lately in New Providence?
25 miles an hour.
Lowered the speed limit, put signs up. Nobody went slower. They go slower because now about every 3 days, somebody's sitting at the bottom of the hill with a radar gun sticking out a window. And I see it on Park Avenue every once in a while. Our guys are out there. The only way you're going to get people to slow down is enforcement. And my brother was a cop. My nephew is. It's pain in the neck, pulling people over. You got all the PBA cards and everything else. But I think it wakes people up. We've gotten, on bike rides, we've gotten tickets for riding 3 abreast, blocking the road. Don't ride 3 abreast anymore, at least those people. So just wanted to point out that I see one of the ways to get bike safety improved is having the police visible and being a pain in the neck to get people to pay attention to things.
Right now, that and public awareness, we're pushing the campaign with.
Well, we have the thing on the 15th, right?
Yeah, we're pushing those 4 feet and the e-bike safety courses, we're trying to expand it into bicycles. As someone who bike rides also, I just did a nice long bike ride all the way down Mountain Avenue to Summit and back. And you can see where the bike lanes are, not the bike lane, the shoulder is, where there's no shoulder, and 90% of the people are good. Well, 10% of the people are what's gonna kill me.
It's an infrastructure problem. The roads were never built for cars and bikes. So we have to deal with it. Anyway, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Appreciate it.
And I know our police department is on rotations on different locations, because I found them on Emerson Lane, not just Park Avenue, and I'm off of Emerson. And I like that, I put my little 4-foot sign, see if I can help out.
Hi, I'm also not a Berkeley Heights resident like Gabby. I'm Danielle Wildstein. I'm a neighbor. I'm Scotch Plains, 12 Clinton Lane, Union County resident. I just wanted to echo what Gabby said. Love that the Rotary was here talking about Narcan. I'm going to go back to Mayor Lasardo and talk to him because I don't think it should be a town conversation. I think it should be a county and a state conversation. So I just want to thank you for bringing that up. And thank you also for bringing up bike safety. Very emotional time in Scotch Plains right now and Cranford. So my thing is one conversation at a time with everything. So thank you very much for bringing it up. I just hope with Senator Scutari coming, talking about some additional safety measures for the e-bikes and parks, that can flow out to the roads as well, because it's very important. So I'm listening, I'm observing, and I will take this back to Scotch Plains. So Mayor Luzardo is going to get a call from me. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much.
So Berkeley Heights is leading the way. For
Yeah.
county and.
Good things.
Person like a great.
And Ray, if you want Ray's phone number,
I do.
I don't have it with me. If you give it to me later on, or Angela has it, just reach out to the clerk and she'll send you information. He does it with Rotary, and as he says.
Or you can email me, because I know you have my contact info, and I can connect you with Ray too. Either way.
Okay, anybody else? All right, I move to close the citizens hearing.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
Mrs. Pogue.
Yes.
Okay, I move to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolutions 2025-289 through 2025-312. These resolutions will be approved in one motion.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
Mrs. Pogue.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, can you read the following ordinance regarding prohibiting the sale of dogs, cats, and rabbits by retail pet stores in Berkeley Heights?
Ordinance 2025-29, amending the Township Code for the Township of Berkeley Heights to prohibit the sale of dogs, cats, and rabbits by retail pet stores in Berkeley Heights.
Second. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Oh my God, just trying to beat John.
You did. Give me this one, Steve. It's not a comment, did you? I'll give you this one.
All right, everybody wait for.
My bad.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I move that the ordinance as read by the clerk be offered on first reading, that October 21st, 2025 be set as the day for the public hearing, and that the clerk be directed to advertise the same and on the Courier News.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
Mrs. Pogue.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, did you read your?
Ordinance 2025-30, amending the Township Code for the Township of Berkeley Heights to amend Chapter 2.28 to rename the Certified Municipal Finance Officer and Qualified Purchasing Agent positions.
I move that ordinance as read by the clerk be offered for first reading, that October 21st, 2025 be set for the day of that public hearing, and that the clerk be directed to advertise same in the Courier News.
Second.
Whoa. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster,
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
Mrs. Pogue.
Yes. Madam Clerk, would you read ordinance 2025-31, please?
Amending the Township Code for the Township of Berkeley Heights to update the procedures for processing bills for payment and purchasing.
I move that the ordinance as read by the clerk be offered on first reading, that October 21st, 2025 be set as the day for the public hearing, and that the clerk be directed to advertise same in the Courier News.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
Mrs. Pogue.
Yes.
Okay, on to Township Council reports. Councilman Kudo.
All right, I'm gonna keep mine. I'm just gonna paraphrase a whole bunch of things because this way it doesn't step on other people's reports. But the VFW is having a pig roast 2 to 5 on October 11th, and that's at 15 Locust Avenue in Berkeley Heights. The YMCA is having Hispanic Heritage Celebration 1 to 3. Let's see what else. On 10/15, we have our e-bike presentation. Mark's gonna go more into deep depth, I think, on that. On 10/10 at 7:30, there's a field dedication with fireworks for Centauri Field.
Thanks for mentioning that.
So come out for fireworks and to dedicate the field. That's on 10/10 at 7:30. Not Berkeley Heights related, but it's the harvest moon outside, so you will see it like daylight outside. This is when the moon is closest to the earth. There's 2 this month. I attended the Berkeley Heights FIFA World Cup 26 Task Force. The Township of Berkeley Heights, Union County created the task force May 2025. The purpose is to prepare the township for the projected influx of tourism and capitalize on the economic opportunities. There are over 2 million people are expected to come visit the United States for FIFA. It's one of the largest viewed events in the world. The committee had its first meeting. We'll keep the public informed as we have more information and discover new opportunities for local businesses. Patriot Station is expected to hold a watch party if and when Argentina wins, but they're already pumped up and all set to go. So get ready for that. On 10/17, Union County Elect will be having a special meeting. I'm hoping to attend. If someone else in the committee can't go, then I'm doing my best to be there. So one more thing before I forget, on 17/14, people riot in Amsterdam, Netherlands, because of a beer tax. So we don't like taxes. And that's all I want to say.
I love the way you ended, Manny. Excellent. Council President Foster. Try to follow that.
Oh, I can't follow that at all. Okay, October 18th, you've been hearing me talk about this since last year, October 18th at noon. We're going to have the Littell Lord Fall Festival. We're gearing up, we're finalizing everything. It's going to be from noon to 4 at the Littell Lord House on Horseshoe Road. Rain date is October 19th, same time, noon to 4. We're gonna have vendors, we're gonna have food, we're gonna have all kinds of stuff. Just come out and have a good time. On the 12th of October is going to be the 54th annual pageant of champions, where the Governor Livingston Highlander Marching Band.
It's this Sunday.
Yes, it is. And I got about 9 years invested in this told, so and Diane can vouch for that because she was there with me several times. It's the marching band competition starts at 12:30 at the Governor Livingston High School football field. Coming chair as 8 local high school marching bands, and your GL Highlanders come out to compete. The last band is always the Highlander band. They don't get judged; they get judged for a separate, since they're the host band. It's $10 admission, cash or Venmo at the door. Students of all grades wearing school attire and teachers with ID are free. They have a 50-50 band merch. And if I can be so bold as to say, the Highlander chili is to die for.
I didn't know they had chili.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't forget the mac and cheese.
Oh, and the mac and cheese. Mac and cheese too, but the chili is awesome.
All right, excellent. Margaret?
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to mention was the grant committee. Susan and I met with Doug Bierbauer from grants, and we talked about, possible opportunities this coming year. So we'll continue to look for grants and work on grants. We are specifically looking for anything that can be construed as stream or bank cleanup. So, walking paths, anything we can do to, bring money in to aid that effort, to help with flooding, we're there. We're also looking for other grant opportunities for our first responders, the Senior Affairs Committee, Vendors Wellness, all of the usual part with that board. Okay, so that's grants. The flooding, the new mayor's task force on flooding, will meet before the end of the month. We're working on getting the date set now. The flooding meeting that was here in Town Hall and then over on the Passaic River with the Army Corps of Engineers and the DPW taught me a lot about all of the true issues that there are in proceeding with this, and everybody's frustrated. From the Army Corps representatives were frustrated that they couldn't do more. The New Jersey DEP is frustrated because there's an organization that and regulations that they have to work within. So they can't just give us approval to do anything that we want. Union County is frustrated because they're hearing from us and they're trying to deal with the organizations above them.
The middleman.
Right, so I think we can all work together now that, Mayor Devaney has done such a fabulous job bringing everybody to the table, to making real progress here. So the flooding task force will, get kicked off and you'll be seeing more about that. The Complete Streets Committee, the Complete and Green Streets Committee had its first meeting last night. We are very excited. We set up a group of work groups. We'll be looking for volunteers to assist with some of the efforts on the work groups. And you'll be hearing a lot more about that. One of our top priorities is e-bike and e-scooter safety, working with PD and the schools in order to get the word out, bringing more educational programs and information to our residents about that. And communication and community engagement is what we're calling it here. It isn't enough to just send information out. We need the community engaged in keeping all road users safe. Drivers, bikers, pedestrians, e-bikes, e-scooters, everybody deserves to be safe. Pedestrians.
Oh, I didn't hear that one, sorry.
Dogs.
I'm on medication.
And then the last thing is, we've been working for a few months with a grant that we received for planning services for the area around the train station. It's called the Transit Hub Planning Project. So we'll be doing stakeholder meetings with some, individuals and organizations in town. We expect to get the planning report on that and their recommendations early next year. But that's also very exciting because that's an opportunity for a group of planners from other parts in the state to come in, look at what we've done in Berkeley Heights and identify what areas we can improve on in that downtown transit hub area.
And if we get that designation, that actually gives us really good opportunities for more grants.
Yeah.
That designation.
The interesting is that to the debate, the two candidates and both are pushing for that. So it's a-
Something they agree on.
They both agree on one thing,
Good.
and that's that's the downtown, revitalizing downtown because of the affordable housing.
Yeah.
They want to revitalize any affordable housing that's going to be happening. They feel has to be close to a transit hub.
And we have the historic train station now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just my little pitch to anybody that ever, read this, please slow down.
Yes.
Watch for pedestrians, watch for dog walkers, watch for kids on bikes. And if you're on a bike, watch for pedestrians, watch for dogs, watch for cars. It goes up and down both ways of how fast and where you're using the road. Everybody needs to be more responsible. So if you're a parent, please model with your child. Don't be on your phone while you're driving because then your kid thinks it's okay to be on their phone when they're on an e-bike.
Yep.
So, model the correct behavior, slow down, and let's make the road safe for everybody.
And that said, walkers walk against traffic and any wheeled vehicles go with traffic. And we see a lot of the opposite.
We do. All right. Very, very good, Margaret. Thank you. Bill?
Well, I just want to recognize that today, as the second anniversary of the October 7th attack on Israel, and for us to remember the innocent lives lost and acknowledge the deep and continuing suffering endured by both Israelis and Palestinians. As a community, I'd like to reaffirm our commitment to peace, human dignity, and the hope for a just and lasting resolution to this ongoing conflict. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for bringing that up. Andrew?
Thank you. I just wanted to bring up that this week is Emergency Nurses Week. So if you've ever been to an emergency room or a loved one has been in an emergency room, it's a good opportunity to stop and thank those nurses who really do an amazing job. So thank you.
Thank you for highlighting them. Susan?
A little piggybacking, for Fall Festival, I'm honored to do some tours of the Littell Lord House. So I'm doing I'm doing 2 hours of tours, so come see me down there. The grant that I submitted for 127,000, we're still waiting to hear that from that. It should be, I think, November or December. But the Mayor's Wellness Grant, we should hear by the 15th. So fingers crossed on that, and that's for veterans.
Yep.
Yeah. Tomorrow night is planning board, and while the council met in small groups with Dr. Fan and the proposal for Terrace 2, now it comes before the planning board. So that's what's happening tomorrow night, if anyone's interested in attending that meeting. We have comments and concerns from DBC, from council members, and Environmental Commission. So I look forward to an engaging discussion tomorrow night.
Very good. All right. Thank you, Susan. Administration reports. Veteran Affairs. So on November, first time we're doing this, Sunday, November 2nd, Berkeley Heights will host its first ever Veterans Festival at Town Hall parking lot. It's a celebration to honor our veterans around Veterans Day. This year, we're going to feature a car show, and all the proceeds are going to benefit the VFW Post 6259. We have a live band, the Kids That Stayed, a local Berkeley Heights cover band. We're also exploring a video truck so we can stream the Giants and Jets game for everyone to enjoy. We're also going to include a veterans resource row where we'll have local organizations and agencies that can share information and support services for our veterans and their families. I think we're also doing a red, white, and blue dog parade or contest too, so we're working on that. The second, 1 to 4. 1 to 4, I believe it is. Mayor's Wellness Committee, we're gonna start a wellness newsletter, so all this will be in it. It's a lot of information, so here it goes. We have a hike on the 25th that's going to be guided at Trailside. That's going to be guided by one of our own high school students, Will Birch, who works there. His mother runs the facility, so he's well versed in nature and how that improves our mental health when we spend time in nature. We have a meditation under the stars on November 22nd at the pavilion from 5 to 5:30. Bundle up if it's cold because we're going to lay on the ground and we're going to meditate and we're going to look at the stars. And there's incredible research by John Kabat-Zinn that talks about the science of why meditation is so good for us. We are spinning our wheels to get the turkey trot off the ground. So that last year was incredible. We had, for the first time, I think 200 people sign up 24 hours when we knew it was going to be a torrential downpour, and boy, was it a torrential downpour. So hopefully we have great weather. That's going to be at Connell on Thanksgiving morning. So get your run in. We know physical exercise is great for your mental well-being, and then you can have all the turkey and pumpkin pie that you want. We do need volunteers for the turkey trot, so I'm putting it out there. We need a lot of physical bodies on that day to make sure that everybody stays on the route. We are going to have our happiness retreat this year in January, a year of happiness, we're calling it. We're doing a Love Yourself dance party at Disco Ride, the week before, Valentine's Day.
When the journaling activity.
And the journaling activity at the turkey trot, Susan came up with a great journal calendar that we're going to encourage people to journal for 60 days. And then we're gonna have some special.
31 days, not 60.
That
30.
turkey trot, December, and
But
then.
not 31 days in a row.
Not in a row, right.
31 days at your convenience.
Right.
There's a few new.
It has 60 days.
Yes, to.
Technically get it done, so it's not a rush, there's no pressure.
No pressure.
We'll have prizes for folks that do engage in that. Mayor's Book Club is Thursday night. It is The Mountain Is You by Brianna West. It's a pretty short book. It'll be at Delicious Heights at 7 o'clock. The next book that we're reading for next month is Build the Life You Want by Albert Brooks Jr. I think he runs the Harvard School of Economics. And Oprah Winfrey, great book. I read it like a year ago, amazing. Our Senior Affairs Committee continues to advance Berkeley Heights' journey as a member of the AARP Network Friendly Communities. We had a fabulous, Margaret, why don't you say, a fabulous presentation from Katie Squires that sort of breaks down year 1, we do assessment and planning, which is essentially coming up with a survey. Years 2 to 4, implementation and annual updates, and 5, we do a full evaluation. We get a lot of support and grant money through AARP to execute this, and this is just to ensure that every member of our community, particularly older adults, can live and age well in Berkeley Heights. So I'm really proud that we got that designation this year. And here's a page 2, okay. The Mayor's Youth Council, they continue to impress me. They're running a table at Diwali at the YMCA. They're raising money for an education nonprofit in India. So there's one member of our Mayor's Youth Council. She's the president of the council. It's her nonprofit and she's 17 years old. So I think she's just amazing. If anybody's seen on Politico or any of those types of news outlets, Republican Senator John Bramnick and Democratic Senator Joe Crine are doing a statewide tour called the Civility Tour, talking about how Republicans and Democrats have a lot more in common. Actually, a research paper that I did not so long ago, so it really hit home for me as well. And then one of our members wants to start a cooking class for seniors. So again, 17-year-old, these are seniors in high school. They are amazing. The last thing I want to mention is that Friday is Mental Health Awareness Day. it's okay not to be okay. And if you're suffering, there are resources out there. And I think everyone goes through struggles, and we hear about a lot of maybe members in our community that are going through struggling. And I just want to make sure that we're normalizing that, and that Friday we really take a moment to take care of ourselves, to take care of our families, and reach out if you need help. So with that concludes administration reports, because Liza's not here.
Can I just point one thing out, that the township offices are closed on Monday?
Yes.
It's the holiday,
Yes,
just to point
thank
that
you.
out for people.
I'm losing track.
Schools are open.
What'd you say?
I'm losing track of the dates.
I know, it came fast.
Closed for Diwali
We're
this year.
closed for Diwali this year.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you for that info.
sorry, thanks.
Make a motion to adjourn.
No, wait. I know I was long with the job. We have one more business there.
My bad.
He's ready for bed.
Yeah,
He's ready
yeah,
for bed.
I'm tired.
I move that the township council reports be accepted and approved.
I'll second that.
Okay, now.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis. Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Absolutely.
Mrs. Pogue.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, everybody.
Gotta go to hearing, so.
Have a night.
I think you need help.
They just appeared.
That would be great, yeah.
Six per house.
Well.
Oh, yes, they did them. I did it already. I have 2 copies signed. Do you mind just bringing it there? Thanks very much. Let me turn this off. I'm gonna do that.
It's true.
Yes, which I, yeah, I'm just gonna, sorry, let me just stop this. Thanks very much. And I'm gonna just write Doug, sorry, presentation. I invited, yeah. Right, Liza said to me,
Said 3 hard.
oh, I see, that's what she said, it doesn't work.